Hello and welcome to another edition of Press Coverage. Tim McManus and Josh Paul Neal, and we got a little football to be watching over the last few weeks, man. This is nice, some meaningful football.
Yeah, a little surprising. Wasn't entirely expecting after those two 45-point games that the Eagles will be playing for something, but it's nice to cover a team that has a shot.
That's right. And all of a sudden, we got a franchise quarterback on our hands, or at least Chip Kelly is hoping so. He said this week that he envisions having Bradford here for longer than 1 year, that he wouldn't have traded for him if they didn't think that this would be potentially a long-term thing.
Yeah.
So the next question becomes, is that the right move? Mm-hmm. And, of course, we have to throw in all the context with it. It's going to take a lot of money, I think, for Bradford to be here. If you look at his agent, who's Tom Condon, you look at some recent contracts that he's done, most notably Alex Smith 2 years ago, you're committing essentially for 3 years to a quarterback at the tune of like $17, $18 million with $30+ million, 35 guaranteed.
Yeah.
I mean, is that something that you're willing to invest in this guy? And he's only got 3 more games in which to kind of prove that he is the guy.
Yeah, well, at this point, you don't extend him, you don't sign him. I mean, he's in the last 4 weeks, he's definitely progressed. I've been impressed with his improvement, particularly in the pocket, moving around, his footwork. His passer rating in the last 4 weeks is twice as high as it was the first 7 weeks. That Nelson Aguilar 53-yard touchdown did a great job of climbing the pocket. But as a whole, the season, the body of work across the season is still unimpressive. 28th in passer rating, 29th in yards per attempt. But if he keeps progressing like this in these last 3 games, plays like he did in the last 4, then I think you do. But it's really going to come down to these last 3 games. As of now, no, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if he plays himself in to that new contract.
The problem is that there's only so many quality quarterbacks to go around. And Bradford, if he's at least showing some flicker of hope here, then the Eagles, I think, are going to be inclined to try to lock him up. But he's obviously a risky investment. We know about the injury history. When he sustained the concussion a few weeks ago, we asked him how many is that for him in his career. He said 3. All right, so you got a guy that has double ACLs, 3 concussions, shoulder problems, and you're going to give him guaranteed money for a lot of years. Obviously, that's a big risk, but it's just you're always in a tough situation. If you don't land yourself in elite QB, if somehow you don't get that guy that's in that upper echelon, then you have to make some really tough decisions. And it looks like the Eagles are going to have one on their hands in a few weeks here. But for now, they have the business of trying to capture the very winnable NFC East because it's trash. And they're going to have 2 opponents coming up in Washington and the Giants. So the fate's in their hands. But up first comes Bruce Arians and what looks like a really good Arizona team. How do you see it playing out?
Yeah, well, I mean, the talk last week was about an angry, shady returning to Philadelphia, but how about Bruce Arians, man? I mean, the conference call, he didn't sound very happy about the Eagles in this situation.
Well, they canceled on him.
Yeah, I mean, getting an interview for another job, and they call him up and say, we're not interested anymore. So, I mean, definitely no love lost there, but this Cardinals offense is just, I think it's too high-powered. I mean, Carson Palmer is obviously having an incredible season, 2nd in passer rating, passing touchdowns. The run game, I mean, I think that's an underrated part where it's not a great run game, but it's good enough where you have to respect it. And you can't it's not going to be easy to make the Cardinals one dimension, and that's what the Eagles are going to have to do to beat them. So I'm picking the Cardinals in a comfortable win.
Hindsight's a beautiful thing, but just look at the teams that canceled on Arians, right? So he goes to Chicago to have that interview, and Cleveland and San Diego cancel on him along with Philadelphia, and he looks like he's doing okay for himself out in Arizona right now. And I think that the Eagles are going to lose this one. They've been playing much better. I'm encouraged by the way that they are playing, but this is a high-powered team. Byron Maxwell is dealing with an ankle injury. Same thing for Eric Rowe going up against a really good wide receiving core and a quarterback in Carson Palmer that's playing at a very high level at a late stage in his career. So I think it's going to be a tough one, but at the end, they're still going to be in it and still have a chance to win this NFC East. So we'll keep you posted on everything that's going on with this team. On behalf of Josh, Tim, catch you next time right here on Birds 24/7.